This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Homestand comes to a close, but what a homestand it's already been with 7 consecutive Series 1 for the Cardinals. They're trying for a sweep today. With Jim Hayes and Brad Thompson, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. The Cardinals turn to John Gant here this afternoon. Last 2 starts, very good.
He has been very good, and John Gant has been great in every role this year, but he has really settled in here lately. You see the numbers in his last 2 starts, a 1.59 ERA, 1 walk in the last couple of starts. He's given out no free passes, and he's pounding the strike zone.
Well, the Cardinals as a whole, whether it's Miles Michaelis yesterday or Jack Flaherty or the bullpen, it just doesn't matter. It's all come together during this 7-series win streak. 17-5 and a 2.74 ERA. The opponent's only hitting .224. The Cardinals looking for a sweep, playing good baseball, and using their legs, good speed. The studio talks about that when we come back. Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. A packed house. It's game number 3, day baseball. And the Cardinals looking for a sweep. The Milwaukee Brewers, the St. Louis Cardinals. Get your salsa ready. Baseball coming up. In those frustrations, the Cardinals have taken advantage. They've been all smiles, winning the first 2 games, and in doing so, leapfrogging Milwaukee in the playoff race. Folks, your Cardinals right now would be in the playoffs if it started today. It's game number 3, the Milwaukee Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals, along with Brad Thompson and Jim Hayes. I'm Dan McLaughlin. 86 degrees, partly cloudy as we wrap up the homestand. The wild card standings. Right now, the Cardinals are in, and they're only a half game back from the top spot of Milwaukee, or rather Philly. Milwaukee is now a half game back. Colorado won the Dodgers game and a half, and we'll see the Dodgers and the Rockies the upcoming road trip for St. Louis. John Gant, Brad Thompson gets the start today.
Well, John Gant has been throwing the ball very well here. He took over for Michael Wacha in the rotation, and he's been fantastic. And we know all about the arsenal that he has, that Vulcan changeup that he likes to use quite a bit. You'll see the curve and the slider. He only uses the curveball 12% of the time. It's a very good pitch, though. He can utilize both lefties and righties.
As we know all too well here in St. Louis, it is a season of ebbs and flows. And that's certainly the case right now for Craig Counsell and the Brewers.
It really is. They've been struggling in all facets recently. The one that's most glaring has been their pitching, but their offense. You look at the order here, they've got some good boppers, but haven't got it going.
Yelich, Kane, and Moustakas. Then Aguilar, Shaw, Braun, Kratz, Arcia, Chassin. You're right, a lot of boppers in that lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers. And at the top, it's Christian Yelich. 19th home run of the year last night. One more than all of last year. And 5 of those 19 home runs have come against the Cardinals. Against the rest of the Central this year, 1 home run. So he has saved some of his best work for Cardinal pitching.
He certainly has. We know how dangerous he is. We saw the numbers that he put up last year. We're seeing the power this year. And he's a guy that you got to make sure if he gets extended, he can hurt you. We saw a little bit of that on Friday. Get a little extension there. You got to get in on him. Still think this will be a very good matchup for John Gant, especially with that changeup.
The Cardinals have been playing much better baseball at home. And after the upcoming road trip, 19 of the final 31 games will be here at Busch Stadium. Since Mike Schilt took over, the Cardinals 11-3 here at Busch. The first pitch by Gant. Swung on and missed, and we're underway here in Game 3.
Interesting start right there. We know that he has been aggressive. Yelich has, he goes changeup first pitch of the game, trying to feed off that aggressiveness. Kind of sets the tempo for the entire day.
And the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Outfield is straight away. And the 0-2 pitch to Yelich. Changeup. Just missed on the outside corner. It's another start behind home plate for Yadier Molina. And there's a look at the Vulcan grip, the changeup.
You see how that thing just tumbles out of his hand, and it can work different ways. Sometimes it'll have split action. Sometimes it'll shake like a forkball, but it drops off the table.
Did you ever try one of those, the Vulcan grip?
I tried everything. When I was first coming up, all I had was sinker slider. And when I started more, I had to evolve. I had to get a third pitch. I tried the Vulcan. I tried to throw a split, ultimately falling on a circle changeup. To me, it was a difficult pitch to control. He has got that thing mastered. It just feels so comfortable.
Here's a 1-2. Bounced in the dirt. I would say this, not only are the Cardinals winning at 68-56, but the brand and the style of baseball, it's brought excitement here to the ballpark. Fans are in it from the first pitch.
There's an energy around it.
Really is.
And it's you can't mistake it, and that guy has a lot to do with it. Harrison Bader's got a ton of energy.
It's bounced again. Cardinals 17-5 since the 27th of July. Bader had a triple that brought in 2, a diving catch. Matt Carpenter went hitless last night. That's rare for him, as he saw his 35-game streak of reaching base snapped with an 0-for-4 performance. Here's a 3-2 pitch by Gant. Lifted in the air. Shallow left field, and it drops in for a base hit. Leadoff hit for Yelich. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Ozuna, Bader, and O'Neill. That trio in the outfield. Jerko, DeYoung, Garcia, Carpenter on the infield, and Yadier Molina behind the plate yet again. He has been the Iron Man behind the plate. An amazing run of starts now for Yadier Molina.
Well, at this point, it's almost not worth asking. I know for Mike Schilt, it's a question he fields on a day-in, day-out basis, but he's going to be in there.
Lorenzo Cain batting .352 here in the month of August. Cardinals have done a nice job against him this season, hitting just .175 against the Birds.
Lorenzo Cain none too happy about being hit early on in the game yesterday. But as we talked about on the broadcast Friday, there are a lot of outs on the inner half against him.
Could be a double play ball. 6, 4, 3 on the double play. Yelich trying to take out Garcia, and a terrific turn at second base.
Well, this one here is on the inner half. Gets a ground ball right there that he wants. Nice turn by Garcia at second. You know Cain can run. Very nice all around right there. That's big after that leadoff walk through a lot of pitches. Get 2 outs.
It's a great example of the slide rule here in 2018. A couple of years ago, Greg Garcia is in shallow left field, and you just can't do that anymore. So the turn, with your back to that runner, you're more comfortable with this turn.
Yeah, still a very good turn. The game has changed so much. I mean, there was a fear factor, legitimate fear factor of that.
Moustakas lifts it down the left field line, and foul. Colton Wong with the pickoff that hit him last night, and so not in the starting lineup here for game number 3.
Yeah, Mike Schultz said he would be available in some sort of capacity today. Still trying to figure it out, but really a weird play. Miley ends up picking over there. Colton Wong obviously not expecting that, and it squared him up. Aguilar was gone on a trying to cover the bunt, and Colton Wong got hit pretty hard right there.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Moustakas. Outfield straight away and deep. The check swing. And it's 2-2. Moustakas hit it to the wrong Cardinal outfielder last night. The great catch center field by Bader. The 2-2. It's a Bader again. Can he get to this one? Backing up. He's got it. Harrison Bader with the catch in center. The Cardinals have Carpenter, Molina, O'Neill coming up. There's no score. And then we'll see Yadier Molina and Tyler O'Neill. Marcell Ozuna, long home run in game 2. Paul DeYoung, Jed Jerko, Harrison Bader, Greg Garcia, and the pitcher John Gant batting 9th. What a run. 35-game streak of reaching base, snapped 0 for 4 last night. And during that run, he hit .310, 17 home runs, drove in 30. And the team went 21-14 during those games.
Well, he has been huge. I don't think anybody in baseball this year has had a tear like Matt Carpenter has. But even in the last couple of games where the hits haven't been coming by, this team has figured out ways to win. So they don't need him to carry him. We know how much better they are when he's setting the table for them. But this offense as a whole has come alive.
And Carpenter on the first pitch hits it out to center field. Kane with the catch, and there's one away. The Brewers defense around the horn presented by Dobbs, Ryan Braun, Lorenzo Kane, and Christian Yelich. Along the infield, Moustakas, Arcia, Shaw, Aguilar, Eric Kratz behind the plate. Jolice Chassin in the Hyundai pitch arsenal for the right-hander.
Well, you're going to see a lot of sinker slider, and when he gets in a pinch, you're going to see a lot of the breaking ball. That's his go-to pitch. Tries to get a lot of his outs with it. Likes to finish you with the slider.
Chassin has worked in bullpens. He's worked in starting rotations. You'll see him vary his delivery to the plate, and he's been very good for Milwaukee. And Molina sends one into right center. Kane calling for it. And that's out number 2. Let's turn to Brad Thompson's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, key number one for the Cardinals: continue to apply pressure. The Cardinals have been making things happen, not waiting around for them to happen, but they've been making them. Keep doing that. Their aggressive style has played out very well for them. And for John Gant, continue to pound that strike zone. We showed you the numbers earlier of the one walk in his last 2 outings. He has really cut down on those. He's going after hitters, and he's seeing great results.
It's a big crowd at Hammons Field in Springfield, Missouri today. They're waiting out a rain delay. And watching on the big screen there on Fox Sports Midwest, you got Adam Wainwright there, Jairo Munoz, Carlos Martinez, all on rehab assignments. So the Cardinals in their front office could be busy this week with some movement.
They certainly could. I would go see a game out there as well. You got all those big leaguers out there and then a bunch of future ones. That's a beautiful ballpark.
It's awesome.
It is. It's one of the best minor league parks I've had a chance to be around. Unfortunately, didn't get a chance to be there as a player. But the last couple of years, caravan stops, getting a chance to just check it out. It's a passionate fan base and a fun place to be.
And the 1-2 fouled back. Tyler O'Neill with 3 home runs. He's driven in 10. And when he's got the chance to play here at home, that's when he's been really good. 385 the average here at Busch Stadium. Here's a 1-2. A breaking pitch. Chacin thought he had strike 3. Umpires today: Ramon De Jesus behind the plate, Stu Sherwater at first, Gary Cedarstrom, the crew chief, at second, Corey Blazer down at third. And the 2-2 hit out of play. The Cardinals, it was kind of a time thing with Carlos Martinez. You know, if you could stretch him out, you wouldn't get him back till middle of September. So utilize that great arm, get him in the bullpen. Adam Wainwright, all reports have been very positive with him. The 2-2 is hung but pulled foul.
It's kind of hard to stretch out multiple starters. Also, Michael Wacha made his first rehab appearance yesterday for Palm Beach, and they're trying to bring him back as a starter, get him the innings. I don't know if you want a couple of those guys. I do know this: the Cardinals bullpen right now has been great. They've done a fantastic job with all these young guys. You add Carlos Martinez to that, you add an Adam Wainwright to that, watch out.
2-2 the count. This would be the 9th pitch coming up to Tyler O'Neill. He's fouled off 4. The 2-2 put in play to third. Moustakas quickly to first, and the Cardinals go in order. It'll be Aguilar, Shaw, and Braun coming up. 1 inning in the books. No score.
And Cardinal fans have seen Harrison Bader make spectacular play after spectacular play. They have also seen him take something out of his back pocket and take a peek at it while he's out there in center field. Bader told me it's a laminated index card with positioning instructions put together by Willie McGee. Bader says it includes positioning for each hitter with 2 strikes and less than 2 strikes. Harrison told me, it's my first year, I'm still getting used to the hitters, so the card is super helpful. Dan, we talked to Willie McGee on the pregame show, and you know how humble Willie is. When I asked him about Bader and how well he's played defensively, Willie takes 0 credit. Willie told me it seems like he's doing better and better, but he's probably doing the same things he's done in Little League and high school.
And Bader will appreciate that play in right field. Oh, what a play by Tyler O'Neill. A little jump, and then the catch, and he robs Aguilar.
This ball is driven out here to right field, and he gets a great beat on that thing. It kept going, does a great job of knowing where he is on the track, and makes an outstanding catch. Look at that. Bunch of athletes out there.
Ball was way behind him.
Yes, it was.
And Bader backing up the play. Nicely done in right field. So, Jimmy, I would hope that the right fielder today, Tyler O'Neill, had a card out for that one. That was a heck of a play.
He has the card. All the young outfielders have the card. And Willie, again, is so humble. He will not take any credit. You know, Tyler O'Neill is a much better defensive player than I think Cardinal fans realize. And both O'Neill and Bader just rave about how Willie has helped them. And Willie's like, no, they were probably doing these things in high school, too.
That's typical Willie. And even yesterday at the Hall of Fame ceremony, he gets one of the loudest ovations of any Cardinal or baseball Hall of Famer. Place was packed. And Vince Coleman told some great stories about Willie and mentoring him as he came up. That's out to center. And a base hit. You can hear the fans. Uh-oh, is he going to do it again? Drops in front of Harrison Bader. Vince Coleman got to the big leagues, and it was Willie McGee that gave him a place to live. And Vince talked about that in his wonderful Hall of Fame speech yesterday.
I do have that correct, right? It was Willie McGee that ended up getting hurt that allowed Vince to even get his call up. Isn't that correct? That's pretty cool. I mean, there was an opening there. Vince ran with it. I know the idea was, hey, you're going to be up here for a couple of days. He said, I'm staying.
I'm not going back down. Here's Ryan Braun. Cubs turned 7 double plays in their game against Pittsburgh. Cardinals have already turned 1. And they won that game 1-0 on a Kyle Schwarber home run. Milwaukee, by the way, has out hit the Cardinals in this series 15-12, but they have not posted a win yet. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Ryan Braun. Braun has been nursing a sore rib cage, kept him out of the lineup on Friday. He had to be lifted in their game on Wednesday. And the 1-1 pitch. Into the seats and out of play.
You mentioned the Brewers out hitting the Cardinals over the last couple. You know, that's one of the things that's been impressive to me about this run recently, where the Cardinals have rattled off 7 series wins in a row. They found different ways to do it. They don't always have to outslug you. The pitching has been a constant, but they've gotten the clutch hits. They've gotten the big outs when they've needed to. It's not always 10-12 hits every time out there, but they get the ones when they need them.
And the 1-2. Got underneath it, high in the air out to left field, and Ozuna with the catch coming in. MLB.TV now available at a lower price for $49.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live. Plus, get a free subscription to MLB at Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer. The 7 series wins in a row for the Cardinals.
They're playing some really good baseball. You see 17-5 in those seven series. Took a while to rattle off 7 before that.
2 outs and a runner at first. And a ball taken by Kratz. After the loss last night, from the Milwaukee perspective, first time since April 30th, the Brewers have not held a playoff spot, division or wild card.
Well, you could feel it slipping away, I'm sure. I mean, things have not gone well recently for the Brewers. The pitching has been an issue. Like I said, the offense hasn't lived up, but you still had that. You still had the knowledge that you're a playoff team. It said so. It was in print, and now that's kind of slipped away. I know this team is hungry. I know they're trying to do all the things well, but as we know, we've seen with the Cardinals this year, sometimes things aren't going your way.
Yeah.
And how do you get it fixed? Now, for the Cardinals, they made a lot of wholesale changes. I don't know exactly what the Brewers do. They've got a ton of talent over there, especially offensively, but it's been hard to put it together.
Here's a 1-1 to Eric Kratz.
Again, with a breaking ball right there, just gets away from him.
You know, unfortunately for the Brewers and their fan base, that has been the recent trend. Their second halves have not been good. Really good first halves, struggle in the second half. The 2-1 pitch to Eric Kratz. 2-2. And so far, Milwaukee 13-14 since the All-Star break. Cardinals have Ozuna, DeYoung, and Jerko coming up in the bottom of the second as Gant throws over. We will be in LA tomorrow in Dodger Stadium. And the Cardinals in that series against LA will not face Clayton Kershaw.
Oh, shucks.
Darn it.
That's unfortunate, isn't it? It was like when the Nationals came to town, you missed out on Scherzer. Dang it.
And a ground ball. Force play at second. And the Cardinals coming up in the home half. Ozuna, DeYoung, Jerko. AWS. A look at this monster home run hit by Marcell Ozuna into Big Mac land.
Wade Miley started him out with a changeup in that at bat. He looked at it and you could tell he was licking his chops, just hoping, wishing that he would throw him another one. He got another one and didn't miss it.
He had one of those really long home runs first week of the season against Milwaukee. Almost hit it out of the stadium, literally in Miller Park.
Well, you know he's got that kind of power, and we've seen him hit more for average. We've seen a bunch of singles, but we know that that power is in there.
He's jammed here and hits it out of play. 0-2. Ozuna 5 for 8 with a couple of doubles against Chacin, and a happy Cardinal fan with that souvenir. And the 0-2 pitch. Got him. First strikeout for Jhoulys Chacin. It brings in Paul DeJong, and he had a nice night in game 2 against Milwaukee.
He really did. That was impressive right there against the shift, going the other way. Then he gets one up here, drives a double. Paul DeJong is getting it going. He's got the timing. He's doing damage, especially. It's not just average, but when he does something, he's hitting the ball in the gap. He's driving in runs.
So 1 out and nobody on. Average at 242 for DeJong in limited time after being hit on the hand. 13 home runs, and he has driven in 40. No balls and 2 strikes. The matchup tomorrow night, a couple of lefties, Austin Gumber and Alex Wood. He's hit 17 pitches, Chacin, and only 2 of those have been balls. And he missed low and away.
Chacin trying to put a little extra on it. Goes with the fallback. That looks good when you punch somebody out. It's a nice finish.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Jed Jerko on deck.
He was fantastic last time out against the Cubs. 7 innings, only 3 hits for Chacin. Punched out 10. Had a slow first inning, but really fell into it after that. And like we're seeing today, pounding the strike zone.
And DeJong hits it out to left. And the catch made by Ryan Braun. So 5 up and 5 down for Chacin. Union Appreciation Day at Busch Stadium Sunday, September 2nd. Cardinals will host Cincinnati. Purchase of a special theme ticket, you'll take home a unique Cardinals Union Proud t-shirt. And tickets start at just $20. Get yours today, cardinals.com/theme. Here's Jed Jerko. A shift for Jed with 3 infielders on the left side. And time called. Chicago an early lead. That's in the top of the 4th against Pittsburgh, 1-0. And the 1-0.
It is fun being this time of year, and you just mentioned the Cubs score. The Cardinals can't do it. I mean, as a team, you just go about your own business. You take care of things, good things might happen, but we can scoreboard watch. And it's been a lot of fun to watch the Cardinals just continue to climb. They're there in the second wild card position right now. First place is 4 games back. It's a fun time of year.
Here's a 2-1 put in play against the shift. Base hit into center. And a 2-out hit by Jerko, the first Cardinal hit today. to extend the inning to Harrison Bader.
Well, you see Jerko right here just get something up, and it is perfectly placed. They got the shift on, 3 fielders on that left side. Not much you're going to be able to do about that.
Harrison Bader batting .285. 9 home runs, and he's driven in 25. Big gap in left center for Bader. Gets a fastball and a strike. Bader with extra base hits in 4 consecutive games. The 0-1. Another fastball and a little low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
See what we've seen Harrison Bader get even more selective as he's gotten everyday at bats. His approach has been fantastic. We've seen the results. He just looks so comfortable right now.
It backs up 2-1. Three and 1. Greg Garcia on deck. First 3-ball count of the day for Chassin. Runner at first, Jed Jerko. The 3-1 to Bader. A breaking ball, and he tapped it foul. So not only the last 4, they've been pretty good. How about the last 10? He's driven in 9, 7 extra base hits. I'm sure, Brad, a byproduct of playing every day, timing coming back.
No doubt about it. It's getting the reps, and I think Harrison Bader did a fantastic job, even before taking over every day, of having himself ready to do so. It's all the cage work. It's watching pitchers. It's digging in. It's trying to learn, but there's nothing like real-time reps. He's gotten plenty of those.
Hit sharply to third, handled by Moustakas for the out. So the Cardinals strand a runner. It'll be Arcia, Chassin, Yelich coming up in a scoreless ball game. Hall of Fame yesterday. Fox Sports Midwest will bring you exclusive coverage tomorrow night. 7:30, brought to you by your Mid-America Chevy dealers. Tomorrow, 7:30, the Hall of Fame show on Fox Sports Midwest. Sensational day. Once again, I had the privilege and honor of emceeing that event. 5th class already now for the Cardinals Hall of Fame. And for folks that weren't there, we thought Vince Coleman's speech was going to be rather lengthy. It was, but man, was it good.
Oh, sure.
It was great. And Ray Lankford was fantastic as well. A lot of emotions, tears shed, and a base hit at his center. Arcia will make the hard turn around first base, but he'll stop there with Bader rushing in. Baseball Hall of Famers there. The Cardinal Hall of Famers. The great Lou Brock in the middle. And Stephen Brackeen there on the left. That's Harry's son. And then honored before the game with their red jackets on. I'm sure a night and a day they'll never, ever forget.
That is an impressive collection of men there. Willie McGee on hand as well. And it's so fun to see all of those guys. And it's great to see the turnout. And I mean, you were there in front of it all. People get to relive all of these memories.
That's what I felt.
Yeah, it's special. And getting a chance to talk to all these Cardinals Hall of Famers, it's truly special for them. Putting on that red jacket means the world.
Chacin squaring to bunt, bunts it in the air, and a foul ball. Now, when you were playing, Tony La Russa would always want the former players to come back and visit, come in the clubhouse, open door policy. We'd love to have you here. And that was the case yesterday as the Hall of Famers made their way down into the clubhouse and a visit with Mike Schilt and the players and maybe some advice as well.
Well, it's a family, and family helps family. So you get a chance to talk to any of these guys. You see Bud Norris there talking to Ray Lankford, Yachty talking with Lou Brock. I mean, you can learn so much, and just being around those guys. Sometimes I think just having greatness around, it almost rubs off. It's like, oh man, all right. I've got Paul DeYoung getting a chance to talk to all these guys. When you're playing Major League Baseball, when you're in that clubhouse, you know that you're at the pinnacle. You're the top of the top. You are great until the greatest walks in. And when you have those guys have that presence around, we always felt that when Stan would come in, when Red would be around the clubhouse, Ozzie, I mean, all of these guys, it's next level greatness.
And how could you not, as a player, want to pick their brain and feel comfortable enough to approach them and ask them about the game?
You know what? That's one of the greatest things about it. It seems like every single Cardinal great that I've ever been around, everybody's so responsive to that. Everybody wants that. They want to give that knowledge out. And as a young player or a veteran player, look, anybody, seek it out. Go ask questions. Don't ever feel like you're putting somebody out, because they're, like I said, it's family. They're there to help out as well, and it's knowledge that you won't get anywhere else.
Mike Schilt made a point to come over to the luncheon. He did find a suit coat. He was worried about that.
What good?
So he found a suit coat and made his way over. And I talked to Mike in his office today about it. He said, why wouldn't I? He said it was just a great collection of talent. As the runner goes, throw by Molina, and it's offline, and a stolen base for Arcia. And Mike is very close to Tony La Russa as well, and those two text back and forth. And he was telling me, though, that he and Tony had a long conversation yesterday and the day before, and has been extremely helpful in this transition and just trying to soak up information.
If that's available, if you have a Hall of Fame manager and Tony La Russa that wants to help you, if you have a question that you could reach out, how do you not take advantage of that? I'd be wearing him out all the time.
I would too. And Tony welcomes it. Now Carpenter charging at first base. Chacin looks at a strike. So he spun away from home plate. And now the count is 3-2. You mentioned in the open a very important aspect of John Gant, the lack of walks in his last two starts.
Yeah, he really has done a good job, and he's not giving out the free passes. And when he gets to 2 strikes, more times than not, he ends up getting the job done.
And the 3-2 pitch. Hit to the right side. Carpenter has to get back to the bag at first, and Chacin does his job. Very productive at bat.
Little things like that as a pitcher help you out big time. It doesn't show up big in a box score. Your teammates remember it, you remember it, and you give yourself a chance. Now it's John Gant's turn to leave that guy there.
So the Cardinals will bring the infield in. Christian Yelich at the plate. With one out and that runner at third base. We were talking about this the other night. Across the board, it seems like in Major League Baseball, managers are deciding to bring their infielders in early in games.
Treating everything like it's late, which is kind of a funny thing too, because we've seen the power in baseball go up. Like, no lead is safe. But if you feel like you're in a position where you can cut down or run, whether it be early or late, you might as well go for it.
Here's an 0-1 pitch now to Yelich. It's nice that Vince Coleman singled out so many people along the way here in St. Louis, and that included our outstanding colleague Rick Horton, who's on the pre and post game shows this weekend. Ricky, the one that introduced Vince to golf, and Vince has got the bug and then some, and he's
got him hooked, huh?
Yeah, he's a heck of a golfer, but he talked about Ricky being his best teammate, one of the best he ever had. And we know that's the case here on the television side. Great teammate that we have.
No doubt. We're seeing John Gant attack Yelich totally differently. You see him tie him up with 95 right here. Remember, to start the game, Yelich saw 3 straight changeups in this at bat. He's already seen the slider in, the fastball in. If he wants to go away now, he's got him set up pretty well for it.
1 ball and 2 strikes. And the next by Gant to Yelich. Went in, 2-2. Picked up a base hit, a little bloop to left field to start the game. His first ever hit against Gant. He's 1 for 7. And the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball at the infield end. Garcia looks back, the runner, and a big out early on in this game.
Well, Yelich in his first at bat saw 4 changeups, and this one doesn't get one. Gets a little slider right there. And a nice 4-3 infield in pays off big time.
Brad, I got to wonder if all the studies that front offices do, they just say, look, if we play the infield back, the percentage is X, and that percentage is high that the run scores. So why not just roll the dice and bring them in?
You're not just doing it just because, like, you know what, I got a feeling here, and we'll go ahead and play them in. No, the numbers bear these things out. Clubs definitely have a lot of data. It drives them to decisions. Now, I still believe in the human element. I still believe that if you got a real feel for something, you can overrule it. But if the numbers are telling you that's the smart play, then you do it.
Lorenzo Cain at the plate, and now it's up to Gant to try to pick the club up here and get out of this inning unscathed. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Lorenzo Cain, who grounded into a double play first time up. Just a final thought, though, on the Cardinals Hall of Fame ceremony yesterday. Again, it'll air tomorrow at 7:30 on Fox Midwest. Take the time, watch it. I mean, if you're a Cardinal fan, and you put it very, very well, it's a trip down memory lane. The emotions that come back in watching and listening to Vince Coleman and Ray Langford, just tremendous. And the 1-1 pitch.
It's been fun here recently hearing people talk about this Cardinal club and then kind of referencing the mid 80s. Now, it's a different animal. I don't think you're going to see anybody steal 110 bags, but this team has used the speed, used their athleticism quite a bit. Kind of reminded some people of the 85 team. That's what people have been talking to me about.
And also taking it to the opposition, being the aggressor, proactive, not reactive, which is what those 80s teams did, and some of the great teams that Tony had. if you're the opposition, just like, uh-oh, here we go again.
Yeah. Well, that's what you want to build. You want to build almost an intimidation factor where the opposition knows that you're going to go right at them, and especially at home at your own ballpark. And we've seen that shift dramatically here recently. The club has played so much better here.
The 3-1 taken up and in. So runners at the corners now. And the batter will be Moustakas. If you can't catch a game on television, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Cardinals. First walk issued by John Gant. That's a look from Phil Nichols' camera. So if you get a seat, you're lucky enough to have a green seat. That's the view right behind home plate.
Now, you don't get too many home games off, do you?
No, sir.
You ever sat in a green seat?
I have. I think our seat up here might be the best seat in the house.
This is great.
We have a great vantage point, unlike some of the other stadiums we go to in the broadcast booths. But if you go down there, you'll get an idea of the speed of the game and how big the players are and how fast the game is. So 2 outs and 2 on.
I think in any sport you can kind of say that you get a real appreciation for something and how good somebody is when you see it up close. Like when you see that, when you see the Vulcan changeup coming right out of somebody's hand, you're sitting behind the plate, you see it drop off the table and disappear. It's different.
Here's an 0-1 pitch. Gant to Moustakas. Runner goes, and that'll be a stolen base for Kane. Real good changeup there. 0-2. So 2 stolen bases here in this inning. One by Arcia, the other by Lorenzo Kane.
Well, you'd like to be able to limit the stolen bases and make sure they don't get the easy ones. But the big thing right here is executing a pitch. Just make sure that doesn't hurt you, because all of a sudden now that base hit is 2 runs.
Outfield is straight away, fairly deep for Moustakas. And the 0-2 pitch by Gant. Hit sharply inside the first base line on an 0-2 pitch. O'Neill, his throw to second base. It'll be close. In there safely, and it's 2-0 Milwaukee.
Well, on an 0-2 pitch here, you know that Gant is trying to go off the plate down. This thing just cuts a little bit, ends up catching way more of the plate than he wanted. Moustakas, no, he's going to be defensive there with 2 strikes. Thing just leaked over the heart of the plate and ends up hurting big time.
So we talk about the aggressiveness of the Cardinals, also the aggressiveness of the Brewers here in this inning. 2 outs and a runner at second, and a strike to Jesus Aguilar. Cardinals did make an announcement about the rotation. Daniel Ponce de Leon will go Tuesday night, and he'll replace Luke Weaver in the rotation. Weaver goes to the pen. The 0-1. So Daniel now part of that starting rotation, at least for the time being.
Mike Schultz saying that he believed that Luke Weaver's role out in the bullpen would be a lot like what Ponce de Leon's was. If you have a guy that can eat up some innings for you in a ball game and bridge the gap, maybe Weaver can end up being that guy, but that role constantly evolves. You never know, he could find himself in some tight spots late in ball games.
So Milwaukee with a couple of stolen bases here in this inning. They're now up to 95, 3rd in baseball. And it may be surprising for some, but 2 American League clubs leading all of baseball in steals. Boston with 98 and Cleveland with 98. That's 2 strikes on Aguilar that were called balls. And Gant saying, wait a minute, that's right down the middle.
The slider earlier, okay, maybe, but it was still a strike. That one's not even close right there. You see this one fastball, 94 outer half, not too low. It's big though. You've already given up 2 runs here. You're a little frustrated on 2 pitches that you should have gotten. You've got a big hitter up, drove a ball the right side the other way. You still have to be able to adjust here and make a pitch.
26th pitch of the inning coming up. The 2-2 to Aguilar. Yeah, I think you can understand why Gant was frustrated. Once, okay. Second time, right down the middle with a fastball.
Sometimes with an off-speed pitch, you can even fool the umpire.
Yeah.
And they're thinking along with you. They're trying to, I mean, they know how you're going to attack for the most part, but sometimes you sneak up on them. Shouldn't happen with a fastball, and that wasn't one of the egregious Yachty set up way inside. You throw a fastball outside. Moved his glove about 3 inches.
And the 2-2 pitch taken high. Aguilar with 58 2-strike hits, 3rd most in baseball. Gant has been good in this spot. Once he gets 2 strikes on a hitter, they're only batting 122. League average is 172. And the 3-2 with 2 outs and a 2-0 lead. Line to first. Produced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Boy, I give John Gant a lot of credit. Frustrated at that last at bat with Aguilar, and this is his reaction walking off the mound. There was none.
No, it's perfect. He's already, I'm sure, a little frustrated. Gives up the 0-2 double down the line to Moustakas. Then after that, you throw 2 strikes. I mean, I'm not even talking borderline strikes that are called balls. And he comes off the field. He realized there's a lot of game left to play. It also helps when you have a catcher like Yadier Molina, who is going to do a lot of your bidding for you. You don't have to get in there. And when this happens early on, and there's a lot of baseball left, you don't want to have that bad blood between the umpire and the pitcher.
And that's hit out to right field, and a base hit for Greg Garcia.
Well, you get the slider right here. This thing is down low, and Greg Garcia just goes and gets it. Get something started here.
So now John Gant at the plate. hit a home run in his last start. Squares to bunt and bunts it to Aguilar. Beautifully done. Advancing Garcia to second base, and the tying run comes to the plate in Carpenter. Carpenter fly to center, and he's due. It's hard to say that when a guy's got 33 home runs, but the way he was going, he's just in a little bit of a rut over his last 17. What a year it's been for Carpenter.
It really has. You talk about a roller coaster. It started off as slow as it possibly could, but I don't know if you could get much hotter than he had been over the last couple of months. And you know it's going to get going again. The on-base streak snapped yesterday. Do you expect another one to start right here?
Even when he doesn't get hits, he walks, finds a way to get on. So one out and a runner at second base. And the first pitch is strike.
I did also see a picture he posted this morning of 3 breakfast tacos with you know what on top. Had the salsa, had it going. So he's got the power.
He had a Twitter poll this morning apparently about what he should have for breakfast, and you know the salsa was included. So just what should I have, and where do I put
one.
where do I put the salsa? The 0-1 and a strike, nothing at 2.
That's a really nice pitch right there by Chacin. Slider starts out off the plate away and just comes right back in the back door. If you're Carpenter, you can't do too much with that. You just got to be able to protect against it and wait for him to make a mistake here.
Tying run at the plate. We're in the bottom of the third. 2-0 our score. Garcia running, and the pitch is hit to the right side. And the ground out. Interesting to start the runner there. Take a look at our Kia drive to success. And it's a closer look at Mike Schilp. Cardinals at home under Mike are 11-3. 4 series wins. Averaging about 5 runs a game offensively. And the team ERA under 3. Here's Yadier Molina. John Mozeliak, the president of baseball operations. We did a function today here at the ballpark and talked about Yadi and all these starts. And he said, look, do we think that the offense might take a step back? And he said, not a lot, but just a little bit because he's playing so much. He said, sure, that may happen. He said, it hasn't, but it might. He said, but we keep him in there because of what he means behind the plate. And he takes great pride in playing every day. So he grounds out to short. Mo pleased with the turnaround, and it's 2-0 Milwaukee.
that can shake me. He also said, I don't consider it a slap in the face. Dan, Weaver says he just discovered a mechanical flaw in his delivery and had his best bullpen of the season this week. He said that adjustment should help him locate his fastball more consistently, and he thinks that will be a huge help in his new role. He says he looks at this as just another way to contribute, Dan.
All right, Jimmy, here's Travis Shaw. Jim, I do have a question for you. You have done thousands of features on Fox Sports Midwest, whether it be hockey or here with the Cardinals. And the other day you had an extended interview with Matt Carpenter and Salsa. But on a serious note, you have sold a lot of shirts with Matt, and a lot of those proceeds will go to Cardinal Glennon.
Yeah, and he said after that piece aired and then hit the internets, they were selling like 50 shirts a minute. So it's got to be the Salsa T-shirts are great, but raising money for Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital is even better. And I just considered it, you know, the Salsa Summit, just another part of doing regional cable journalism, Dan, at a very high level.
Well, of course you do, and that's 50 a minute. I'm not sure I'd put it up there, though, with your Jamal Mayer's fight piece from many years ago where apparently you lost a tooth.
Oh, you know, hindsight's 20/20, but I thought I got the best of Jamal actually in that feature.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Danny.
1-2, the count on Travis Shaw. And Shaw pops it up left side. By the way, I was hosting that night. It was in Columbus. And as you know, Brad, I used to do blues hockey for over a decade. And I had not seen that piece with Jim Hayes. And so I threw to the piece and said, well, Jim has a closer look at fighting in the NHL. So Jim is on the ice with Jamal. Jamal is just beating him up. And at the very end of the piece, Jim, you don't see anything. All you see is the sideboard where the benches are at for the St. Louis Blues. And Jim has one hand that comes up, then the other hand, he's pulling himself up. And something like, I think I got the best of Jamal as he has a black painted eye on. And then he smiles and he had blackened out one of his teeth. So it was missing. And I couldn't stop laughing. I hadn't seen the piece, and it was the only time I've ever said in regional cable television, I can't go on, let's go to a break.
Great.
Because I kept laughing.
That's good TV right there.
It was funny.
It's genuine is what it is.
That's Jim.
That's good, clean fun is what it is, too. He's
Good,
pretty good at what
fun.
he does.
Oh, he's great. We're lucky to have him. Shaw and Braun have been retired, and now it's Eric Kratz. And strike one. Again, would love a quick inning. He had 28 pitches last inning, and thus far just 7. And the 0-1. Nothing in 2. Cardinals have O'Neill, Ozuna, and DeYoung coming up in the bottom of the 4th. You know, Mike Schild is quick to credit the players. Anytime you ask him about the turnaround, he says those are the guys doing it. The players, he said, then the coaches. Extra work being put in, all the work being put in. But he is quick to deflect any attention towards him for this turnaround. But it's clear he's had a big mark in this. Pop Warner there on the right, Mark Budaska on the left, George Greer. Collective effort. There's a look at George there on the left. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Eric Kratz. Good pitch in on his hands.
That's how you win. It is a collective effort. It's a little bit from each and every member, and it doesn't matter what your role is. And you know, we see Weaver out in the bullpen earlier. He's got a new role. Well, he's out there to help the ball club. Everybody's coming together. And it's easy to do, especially right now when you're winning a lot of ball games. You want to be able to help however you can.
And that pitch low. And the 2-2 pitch. Fastball in and missed. So now the count runs full.
Gant has been very good in these spots all year. Been great with 2 strikes. Great not giving out the free passes.
And it's hit up the middle and a base hit. So 2 outs and a runner at first. Extends the inning to Arcia, who singled and scored.
Gant gets the ground ball he wants, puts the pitch exactly where he wanted it. 93 on the inner half right there. Just got the ground ball that found a hole. Let's go ahead and execute that one again.
So 2 outs, runner at first. Orlando Arcia, 8th place batter in the lineup for Milwaukee. That ball a little bit low. You've been there before. I mean, this is when he's missing, not by much, and obviously there's been times he hasn't missed and it's not called a strike. How do you not get frustrated?
Yeah, you just got to keep plugging away, and that's where being mentally tough comes in, because you can't control that. You can't control what an umpire gives you or doesn't give you. You got to be able to execute the next pitch. And it really does help having Yachty back there. He can calm you down a little bit, but Gant does a great job of just knowing himself and staying within himself and just executing one pitch after another. That being said, I probably would have lost my mind already.
Yeah, you were one not to have that patience.
I was wound a little tight.
You were a little bit. Here's a 1-1. Your mom and dad always watched Cardinal baseball from Vegas?
Certainly did.
There were times that let's just say you lost your temper. You had a very hot temper.
Well, Mom would call sometimes.
Would she really?
Like, hey, I saw the game. It was a good job. You should probably watch your mouth sometimes.
Would she really?
Every once in a while.
So moms are for, though, right?
That's right. Always making sure I'm trying to be a better me.
I got you. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Arcia instead of check on the runner. Kratz at first. And when you first came up, it was kind of, no offense, baby face guy, maybe hadn't shaved yet.
Yeah, none taken. I'm 36. I still got
Sorry.
that. Yeah.
And then there was this temper. I mean, you just let it rip.
Yeah. I don't know. I got to be honest. I kind of miss it. I kind of miss having that. There's not too many things in my life now that can get me that fired up.
Here's a swing and a miss. I miss it too. Do something during innings. Get
Sounds
mad.
good.
season. 385. We mentioned the very good average before, but 3 home runs. He's driven in 10 and a high OPS.
Well, you know, when Dexter Fowler's injury took him out of the lineup, it was going to be Tyler O'Neill that was going to be out in right field every day. He ends up getting hurt, and Jose Martinez kept tearing it up. But you got to figure out a way to get Tyler O'Neill in there. You got to find out what you have. We've seen monster power numbers he's put up in the minor leagues. Saw the great home numbers there. He's got speed, athleticism. Saw the play early in the game out in right field. He's got the whole package. It's all about getting reps again.
How was your half inning?
It was okay. Did I sound calm when I came back?
You did. You're very much
I was able to put it together. I do have a couple of apologies to write out after this.
I used to crack up. Sorry.
You know it's bad when you leave maybe a visiting clubhouse and you just have to leave a blank check because you're not sure how much that should cost. How much is drywall? Is drywall expensive?
Yeah, drywall. Few bats maybe.
Happens.
Yeah, maybe a fan, a TV.
Then you're able to let it go.
Let it go. It's all over.
Always thought there should be some sort of a we'll call it a relaxation room at every ball club. Or you know what would be even better if a guy like myself could just be in control of his emotions. But the room sounds like a little bit more fun.
See, I think you give, and we've seen this before, and we're not joking about this. We've seen like a padded pole.
Yeah.
Behind the cameras and away from the fans, and guys would take their bat and just go pound that padded pole to get the frustration out.
It's almost it's enabling, but not. We're not saying do it. We're just saying if you are going to do it, this would be your spot. Actually, in Milwaukee, they've got a little room right off. Yeah, and they've got a heavy punching bag in there and some padded walls.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite rooms.
I bet it was. Depending on whom I'm working with in a certain night, I feel the same way.
Yeah, we'd probably get one in here. There's plenty of real estate. At least a heavy bag.
I'm kidding. I have the luxury of working with 5 great analysts.
You got your hands full up here.
Some more than others.
It happens. Why are you
the
staring
top
at
of
me?
the list.
Yeah.
2-2 the count on Tyler O'Neill. Fouled back. He's seen a bunch of pitches. 16 so far for O'Neill in his first 2 plate appearances and counting.
Well, you know, at some point, Chacin is going to make a mistake. He loves going to the slider with 2 strikes, but every once in a while, one of those will back up. That happens. That's going to end up in the bullpen.
And the 2-2. That was it right there.
Could have been. Chacin has proven, though, he's not afraid to just continue to go back to it. And right when you think, he's probably done throwing sliders, not just throw another slider. I mean, he's just one of those guys. He's very smart. He's a cerebral pitcher. He knows what you're thinking. He tries to think along with you. And if you're thinking, he's going to go heater, here comes another slider.
And O'Neill hits it a mile high on the infield. And the shortstop Arcia with the catch. Well, Chacin against St. Louis, but as we talked about at the beginning of the telecast, really a different pitcher lately for Milwaukee, but in his career 0-7 and a high ERA.
I got a feeling he knows those numbers.
Oh, yeah.
He knows them quite well. He's looking to right those. But with the Cardinals, especially the way they've been playing recently, you find yourself in a 2-0 hole in the 4th inning. So what? Who cares? Like you've been able to dig out of holes in the last couple of months. Nothing's over for this ball club. You never get that feeling like they're out of it.
Hot shot, Arcia to his left. What a play. It's why he stayed in the big leagues as long as he did. Now the offense, it's been a struggle this year, but this young man can pick it.
Yeah, he really can. Moves to his left really well, catches that on a middle hop, and then very strong throw. I'm not sure if that happens with their other defensive alignment. I'm not sure Scope gets to that ball. He's a second baseman by trade. Very nice play.
There's Paul DeYoung, who popped out to third. Cardinals have been out hit 5-2 in this game. A single by Jerko and a single by Garcia. That has been it. One ball and one strike. Chavez Ravine, Dodger Stadium tomorrow night. So many ball players over the years have talked about how they love playing at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I really enjoy the atmosphere. I mean, the ballpark is old, as you know. The clubhouse isn't the best in the world, although they've done some renovations. But it's got a neat feel around it. And there are just some ballparks that you kind of feel the history when you're out there, and that is one of them. It should be a very, very good series.
What's on tap, presented by Budweiser. All night games. And the day off on Thursday in Denver. Rockies next weekend. So tough road trip coming up, and a road trip with big consequences potentially for all those teams, including the Cardinals. DeYoung is cut down on his strikeouts, 22 here. He's only struck out 3 of the last 31 plate appearances, and that's something going in the right direction.
It is, and this is the type of pitcher that would get him a lot of times sliders away. Nice sinker right there.
So DeYoung strikes out 2 today for Chacin, and it's 2-0. Take home their very own Cardinals Bear, presented by Build-A-Bear Workshop. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Colton Wong not in the lineup today. More on that. We check in with Jim.
Yeah, Mike Schultz said Wong's elbow contusion was not the kind of thing that would put him on the DL, and that Colton could come off the bench in some capacity today. I talked with Colton just before game time. He was going to take some swings in the cage. He was wearing a protective guard on the elbow, and he was hopeful that he might be able to pinch hit today. Danny was going to test it out, but that's pretty good news about Colton.
Yeah, and if he doesn't play today, big series coming up. Don't want to put words in his mouth or Mike Schultz, but you would have to think in the lineup tomorrow if he's able to pinch hit today.
Oh, certainly. And we've seen his game just come together here recently. Offensively, defensively, that's been there all year long, but he's looking really comfortable over at the plate. And what a freak play yesterday on the pickoff right there. That catches him clean, and it's just good that little soreness, some availability today, and hopefully back at it tomorrow.
Here's a 1-2. He made just one of the more dazzling plays you'll ever see a second baseman make in game one.
It was ridiculous. Slow chopper coming in, his body, all his momentum is taking him the other way, and he makes a little underhand flip.
Garcia staying down on that play. On the run, teaming up with the Cardinals to bring fans $6 tickets. Cardinals host the Pirates August 28th through the 30th. And get your $6 on the run tickets now at cardinals.com/6. We're in the 5th inning along with Brad Thompson and Jim Hayes. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delightful afternoon here in St. Louis. Christian Yelich 1 for 2. A bloop single to left field and also grounded out to second. And there's ball 1.
Well, third time around, we've seen Gant attack him 2 different ways. First at bat, lots of changeups, all 4 of them. Second at bat, stayed hard in on him, ended up getting the ground ball with a runner over at third, big out. He stayed hard against him so far.
Pirates have come back with a run. They've tied it up against Chicago 1-1 in the top of the 7th. The 2-0 pitch to Yelich. Popped up. 2-1. Mentioned earlier that Yelich has 5 home runs hit against St. Louis pitching this year. Most of any individual against the Cardinals, along with Javi Baez of the Chicago Cubs. Both with 5. 3-1 pitch. And just a bit high, and he walked him. Cardinals with some activity now in their bullpen. That's Brett Cecil, the lefty, throwing for St. Louis.
And the Brewers have been making Gant work. Umpire early on making Gant work. A couple of walks in today's ball game. Still limiting the damage very well. Executing some pitches when he's had to, but that pitch count has got up now, sitting at 85 pitches.
Time to find an ATM? Again? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
Well, you got to think that the lefty right now, Brett Cecil, could be getting loose for Moustakas, most certainly Travis Shaw.
Oh, absolutely, and you're hoping here. You got 1 out in the inning. You've already had Lorenzo Cain, got him to ground into a double play in the first inning. You get that again. He got a fastball in on him. Cain has been pitched hard in. He got hit by Michaelis yesterday. Wasn't very happy about it. But there are a lot of outs in there against him. If you want to get a ball on the ground, that's where you got to put it.
So the double play off of Cain's bat back in the first. He's walked, scored a run, stole a base. First pitch to him. Ground ball left side. Tough play for DeYoung, and they won't get anybody. Couldn't get it out of the glove. The speed of Yelich may have beaten it out anyway. And now runners at first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, Yelich runs so well. That was going to be very difficult right off the bat. And even if he makes the throw all the way across the diamond, you know that Cain is cruising. DeYoung does a good job getting to this. And just that quick little double clutch doesn't allow him to get it out in time. Very nice job by John Gant to make the pitch, get that ground ball when he needed it. Happens. Get another one.
See if he can here with Moustakas, and now Molina, the slow walk out to John Gant. You got to wonder if this is it here. Yeah, that's going to be it. Schilt at the top step. Even Mike Schilt is a part of High Sox Sunday. So that'll be it. Cardinals will go to their bullpen, and the lefty coming up. Moustakas against Cecil with 2 runners on when we come back. One, 2, 3 inning, back in the big leagues the other night. And this is a big spot in this game. And Mike Schilt is saying, you know what? We're going to go with him. Let's see what we got.
Well, what better way to breed confidence is put somebody back in a big spot. And I know things haven't gone as planned for Brett Cecil this year or even last year. It's been a tough stretch for him. But you got to think that if you rattle off a couple of good ones, you get out of a couple of big spots, it will breed some confidence. And this is a big one here.
Congratulations to Allison Shrewsbury and Michael Tully. Newlyweds got married last night and enjoying Cardinals baseball today. So Mike Moustakas, runners at first and second. Brad, when you evaluate guys coming out of the pen, in particular a lefty like Brett Cecil, what are you looking for?
Well, you'd like to see him that good tight breaking ball, and when he is right, his curveball is nasty. He throws it pretty hard and it falls off the table. What you want to see is consistency with it, being able to double up, throw it for a strike, throw it for chase. Saw a very good one there, bottom of the zone, doesn't get the call. But that's that action that you want to see from him, and you want to be able to see it again. A lot of times this year early on, we know that he's battled his injuries, but you'd see a good one, and then you see another one kind of pop out of his hand and back up, and that's where he gets himself into trouble.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Moustakas. Shift on the right side of the infield. And a fastball that misses, 2-0. This could be a very big pitch in the ball game right here. 2 balls, no strikes with a guy with power. Moustakas, his numbers with runners in scoring position this year. And the 2-0. Ground ball taken by Carpenter. Runners advance to second and third. Jesus Aguilar. So an intentional pass of Aguilar, and they'll load him up for Travis Shaw. I would think if I'm Brett Cecil, I'm saying, you know what, my managers give me a lot of confidence here because I've been not great around the strike zone at times. But he's seeing something in me, and I want to come through in this spot. Bases loaded now.
Yeah, you got to be pumped up about this spot, getting the call in this game, in this moment, because we've seen it all year with a lot of different guys. When opportunities arise and they take advantage of it, the role changes.
Absolutely.
And that's what they want. They want Cecil to grow into that spot this year where they can put him in these tight spots.
These two have seen each other a bunch in the American League. Shaw with Boston and Cecil with Toronto. A little bit last year. Shaw hitting just .219 this season against left-handed pitching. Here's a 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. I also think it's a gutsy move by Mike Schilt to say let's load him up, and you can understand why. You don't want Aguilar to face him, but bases loaded, little margin for error for Brett Cecil.
And once again, just showing the confidence. Here you go. This is yours. I'm going to give you the most advantageous matchup I could find.
It's popped up. Carpenter over, playable. He's got it. And Brett Cecil strands the bases loaded. Nice play by Carpenter with his back to the infield. And it's 2-0 Milwaukee. With the Blues cap on and the Cardinal Blues shirt. Amazing to get him out of a camera meeting in time to watch the game. Here's Jed Jerko. Phil also does some baseball. Milwaukee Brewers baseball, but has the day off, lives here in St. Louis and taking in some Cardinals games.
What better place? You might as well be here at the yard. Been playing great baseball.
What's up and in? Well, before you know it, Phil will be back at work. The hockey rink, not too far away. St. Louis Blues hockey.
It is coming quick. Cardinals stranded the bases loaded last time. Left the Brewers out there. Be a big time to get a little momentum shift. Had a big time opportunity there. Hopefully the Cardinals get something going here.
Two and two the count on Jed Jerko. Gets it out of play. That was a big moment in this game for Cecil to come in and shut the door.
It was huge. It was huge. And I feel like in any outing, you have an opportunity to grow from it. Either it's confidence or working on different pitches. And I'd have to think he got a little confidence there. Fell behind a couple of batters. That's something he's obviously not going to want to try to do. But you get out of it and you get more and more opportunities.
And Jerko pops it up on the infield to Aguilar for the out. Well, Chacin has been good as a starter today, but the Milwaukee pitching in terms of their bullpen and overall, it's been a struggle. And, you know, they did not address this at the trade deadline. They bolstered a very good lineup, but did not address the pitching.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in today and saying with the Brewers, where did it go wrong? Well, that's where it went wrong. And the pitching has struggled mightily. The starters haven't been going deep into the ball games. That in turn puts a ton on your bullpen. Those guys have cracked, and they were a big time strength early on in the season for the Brewers. But it's hard when you get that many innings thrust upon you. It's hard to have that continued success.
Now the back end of their pen, when they've got Jeffress and Hader, you know, that's a great 1-2 punch. So you start running out of outs if you think about it from a Cardinals perspective.
Yeah, for sure. We haven't seen either one of them, mainly because the Brewers haven't had that lead late in the game. A bit surprised on Friday not seeing the lefty to face Colton Wong in that one, but once again, we're not privy to how guys are feeling, if there's any issues down there.
Greg Garcia with a base hit to right. Saw that shot of Phil Malika, and fans may wonder about the television crews that work baseball. They'll work hockey and basketball. They work year-round. Men and women of our crew, and they do such a remarkable job day in and day out. We can't thank them enough. Garcia hit by the pitch. And we'll see a pinch hitter here in Colton Wong.
Well, you see Chacin right here missing his spot. Wildly catches him right on the back of the calf. Guessing that one stung a little bit. Well, we were thinking about the availability. What was Colton Wong's role going to be? Here it is. Colton has found himself in a lot of big spots. The bat has been coming around. Nice to see him ready for this spot here.
So 2 outs and a runner at first base. Short lead at first by Greg Garcia. And a ball to Colton Wong. Wong primarily has been an everyday player here in the last couple of months. As a pinch hitter, he's done a good job. 3 for 5 with a run batted in. Average at a season high 240. Batting .381 here in the month of August, Colton Wong. 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball and 1 strike on Colton Wong off the bench today. Chacin is set. And Wong sends one out to left field. That'll carry to Braun, and the catch is made. Cardinals strand a runner. They've got just 2 hits off Jhoulys Chacin through 5, and it's 2-0. in a home white embroidered jersey courtesy of TD Ameritrade. Get your tickets for September 1st. Cardinals and Reds. Cardinals.com/promotions. We're in the top of the 6th, and it's 2-0 Milwaukee. Tyson Ross, the new pitcher, in for St. Louis. And Ross, a guy that can cover a lot of innings. He could make a spot start like he did a week ago. Waiver claim for the Cardinals, and a good one for St. Louis.
I think so too. The Cardinals have a lot of guys in the bullpen already, a lot of young guys that can eat up some innings, but it's nice to have the veteran out there that you can go to, and he's looking to turn things around. He had a very strong start to the season. It was just the last month and a half for him that had been rocky. Came in, did a great job, 3 1/3 in relief of Weaver against the Nationals on the 16th. 3 1/3. Didn't give up an earned run. Been a good guy to go to.
So he's got Ryan Braun to start the inning. First pitch taken for a ball. Braun here, then Kratz and Arcia. 0 for 2. He's flied to left and also grounded out to third. 1 ball and 1 strike. We were commenting during the break that get a chance to meet and shake the hand of Tyson Ross, you realize you're talking to a big individual. That guy is big, put together.
I had my back turned in the clubhouse, and he walked in a door next to me, and I think I cowered accidentally. I felt his presence before I saw him. It was a large individual. You were saying earlier in the game, when you get to come to the ballpark and you sit close, you get a feel for the size of all the players. He doesn't look as big on TV. Maybe it's the high socks. I think the high socks make him look maybe a little bit smaller, which is hard to do to that human. That's a big man.
It's a big dude. 2-2 the count. And Braun hits it out of play, as we've seen at times. A change of scenery. Go to a different team, maybe a different pitching coach can help you out with some of your repertoire, and that's the Hyundai pitch arsenal there for Ross.
Well, you're going to see a lot of the slider out of Ross. He spots up his fastball pretty well, but in a pinch, he's going to go to that off-speed offering. He throws a lot of different stuff up there, but it's free and easy. You mentioned the change of scenery, just going to a different place. You go to Mike Maddox, you go to Yadier Molina, and you have unbelievable resources there, but you also go into a playoff hunt, so you get the juices flowing. It's a little different than pitching in San Diego this year. You know, they're going through a rebuild. You get the best out of somebody coming into something like this.
2-2 lifted to right. Tyler O'Neill with the catch. 1 away. And it brings in Eric Kratz, who is 1 for 2.
Going to be nice for the Cardinals here soon. Could be in the next couple of days. Get Carlos Martinez back in the mix, out in the bullpen. Another great arm that you can go to. His rehab has gone fantastic. Said he feels really good.
Boy, what a weapon Martinez could be.
Well, we saw it a couple of years ago out of the pen. We know how great he is as a starter. And by all accounts on the rehab, not afraid to let anything loose. We saw him come back the first time from the DL, and he seemed a little bit tentative. We didn't see that as much the second time, and certainly said this time cutting it loose is not a problem.
Center field, Bader, out number 2. Want to buy or sell tickets at the last minute? The StubHub app, and you can grab 100% MLB verified tickets until the first pitch. Sell your extras to another fan. Get the StubHub app today. StubHub, official partner of the Cardinals. So Carlos Martinez, when he comes back, and it could be this week, will be in the bullpen. Adam Wainwright as well, his role in the bullpen. Wainwright has been hitting 90 to 92 consistently. and then Michael Wacha being stretched out as a starter.
Talk about some late season additions. That's pretty good. Being able to add those names into the fold. Everybody's throwing the ball so well here recently. Going to be some tough decisions to be made. Obviously, it gets a lot easier come September when rosters expand.
Good inning for Ross. That's popped up, and a quick inning, too. First 1, 2, 3 by Cardinals pitcher today. See if the offense can't pick it up. It's 2-0. What have you seen out of Jolie Chassin today?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's done a very good job of just keeping the ball out of the danger zone. He used his slider very, very well. He's getting a lot of weak contact. We saw him his last time out, 7 strong innings against the Cubs. He's picked up right where he left off. And that sinker of his, it's filthy. When he stays on top of it, it falls off the table. 5 innings so far, only 2 hits. Hasn't walked anybody, and the Cardinals have been tough to just get anything at all going against Chassin.
So the top of the lineup for St. Louis. Carpenter 0 for 2 today. Then Molina and O'Neill. There's been a lot of talk about maybe sitting Carpenter or Molina, meaning just giving them a brief time off. Not an extended period, but just a rest day. Gone 2 for their last 37 since Monday combined.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things we were joking around earlier. Mike Schilt, I think, gets asked on a daily basis, hey, when's Yachty going to get a day off? And it's the same thing. I'm pretty sure that it's almost an eye contact thing at this point. The look, you good? The look back, yes, I'm fine. He talked about the open lines of communication there that he has with Yadier Molina. I'm sure the same is true with Matt Carpenter. But when you have your guys that are the heart and soul of this ball club that have been doing it for you all year, and they say, hey, Skip, I'm good to go. I feel fine. I'm great. Well, you roll with them.
Molina is the kind of guy that will get up early in the morning, goes to the gym, works out, may go home, rest just a bit, then gets to the ballpark early, looking at video, scouting, then going through the regular routine of every other player.
Well, success like he's had, it doesn't just happen. There are a lot of just God-given abilities that he has, that Matt Carpenter has, but the work ethic that goes behind him, that's what gets that true greatness out. All the little things, stuff that we don't see. It doesn't happen on TV. It happens when nobody's watching. That's where greatness is made.
Dropping down a bunch, Chassin. Oh, what a play here. Safe at first base. Chassin did everything he could It's going to be close as they'll take a look at it, but a remarkable play by Jolie Chassin to potentially get Carpenter on this play.
Well, he is the only guy on that side of the field. Carpenter has done a good job of this recently, trying to lay that one down. This is close over there at first base. Oh, he's safe.
Just beat it out.
Wow. Heck of an effort right there by Chassin. Just talking about Cardinals that aren't able to get anything going against him. You got to make something happen. Carpenter sees the shift, sees that left side open, and drops down the bunt.
So many times you hear, why don't you bunt against the shift? Why aren't you doing it? Well, that's his 6th bunt hit. 6. That's most in baseball.
It's a serious number is what it is.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Yadier Molina. Carpenter running, the hit and run on, and Molina sends it into right field. Had a feeling they may do it with this combination. A bunt base hit, snapped an 0 for 18 for Carpenter. And here's Tyler O'Neill. Now he's seen a bunch of pitches, and he's just missed a couple of times from sending one onto the street. He's had 9 pitches in each plate appearance.
Yeah, his last one, he ended up popping up to short, but he hit it a mile high. Like you said, just missed it just off of it. It's a good slider right there by Chassin, but we've seen a couple of times, and even the one that he popped up on last time, that he'll back up that breaking ball. He will make some mistakes. 3rd time around. He's been very efficient so far, but he can still, it's just one mistake away from a tie ball game.
0-2. Runner at first is Carpenter. Leadoff base hit with a bunt. Molina fly to right. O'Neill now with 10 pitches that he has fouled off. In the hole, 0-2. Ground ball that's hit to second. Tough to turn 2 here. O'Neill will beat it out. Brings in Marcell Ozuna. At Busch Stadium this year, a .308 average. Hit his 11th home run last night. Driven at 40, the .824 OPS. Good numbers at home for Marcell Ozuna. 0 for 2. He struck out and also grounded out to short. The tying run at home plate.
We've seen Chassin today attack Marcell Ozuna a lot like we've seen a lot of guys. He's got the sinker that goes hard in against him, then the sweeping slider. But we saw what happened yesterday, that 450-foot bomb. If you leave something up out over, that ball was crushed.
Outfield very deep for Ozuna. No balls and a strike. Jammed him, and that's lined near the Cardinal dugout. Everybody okay? 0-2.
Well, he got him there with the sinking two-seam fastball in on his hands. We've seen him wipe him out with the slider. Got to be really aware of that slider down the way here.
0-2, hit up the middle, base hit. O'Neill to third, and the go-ahead run comes to the plate. Good piece of hitting on an 0-2.
Tried to sneak a fastball by Marcell Ozuna right there, and maybe thinking along with Ozuna, expecting a slider, but he leaves a heater right down the middle. Marcell just pulls the hands in, gets the barrel on it, and keeps it rolling here for the Cardinals.
His hands are incredibly quick.
They
it's
are
tough
quick
to sneak that fastball by him. And now runners at the corners. The batter, Paul DeYoung. He's popped out to third. He is struck out. He's had 13 runs batted in his last 11 games. Trying to add to that here. Outfield straightaway and deep. Strike one. Seen a steady diet of those sliders.
Yeah, that is his go-to right there. We've seen Paul DeYoung, though, do a way better job of, first of all, evaluating the pitch off the plate. That one actually a tad bit off. Does get the call by the home plate umpire, Ramon De Jesus. But he does a good job of laying off that slider away or fouling it off.
Hits it the other way, but foul. Now Paul has reached base 16 consecutive games. That's a career best for him here in the big leagues. But in the hole now, nothing in two. The 0-2 pitch. Ooh, he hung it and got away with it. Pitch count right now at 81. Chacin, his spot in the Brewers lineup, coming up first in the 7th. And Jeremy Jeffress is up and throwing right now in the pen of Milwaukee. So you might see multiple innings out of either Jeffress or Hader today.
Yeah, they have limited options at that back end of the bullpen that they really trust. Might be a little mix and match in between those two.
I think Craig Counsell is saying we've got to get a win here, salvage one game this series, and roll the dice maybe with his two best out there.
Well, those have been the guys in the winning games. A little bit different, though, if it's 3-2.
0-2 pitch. Got him. Strikeout of DeYoung. MLB moments happen. Budweiser will be there. By Ford, going further so you can. And by Barnes Jewish Hospital and Washington University. Physicians, national leaders in medicine. Eric Thames will lead it off, and that'll be it for Chacin. So you may just get multiple innings out of Jeffress and Hader. Eric Thames had that nasty collision in game 1 with Carpenter at the plate. The catch was made and he collided with Lorenzo Cain and then hit the wall.
Yeah, it was a scary moment early on. You wondered which one of them, both of them down on the play, Cain and Thames. Thames ended up coming out of it later. Michaelis ended up punching him out yesterday big in the 6th inning. Michaelis with the demonstrative fist pump, pumped up about it.
Here's a 2-0 pitch to Thames. And there's a strike, 3-1. Out of play. Full count.
Good job by Ross just getting right back into this count. 3-2 here. We know the power that Thames have. You want to challenge him. At this point in the game, you got a really tight one. Free passes aren't going to help you.
And he missed outside, so leadoff walk. Ross had the 1-2-3 inning of Braun, Kratz, and Arcia in the 6th. Brett Cecil came in with 2 runners on and 1 out in the 5th. Pitched out of that jam. And now it's Yelich. The Brewers leading 2-0. Cardinals have turned a double play today. That was with Cain at the plate back in the 1st inning. Chacin a scoreless streak now of 13 innings. 5th scoreless start of the season. First time against the Cardinals in which he did not allow 2 or more runs.
We already talked about for the Cardinals what's waiting in the bullpen for them. You got Jeffress coming in next inning, Hader behind him. But at this point in the game, anything different than Chacin might be a nice look for them.
Yeah. Just 4 hits, not a lot of damage done against Chacin. 0-1 pitch now to Yelich. Be interesting to see how Craig Counsell wants to play it. Jeremy Jeffress, 56 appearances. Only twice he's gone 2 innings. For Hader, 39 appearances, 16 of them have gone 2 or more. So you may get Jeffress for 1 and Hader for 2. We'll see how it plays out. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Craig Counsell had a much different view of most of the ball game yesterday. Ended up getting ran early on in that one. Upset about Cain got hit. Miley ended up throwing a ball behind Tyler O'Neill. Warnings came out and he was a little upset about how it all went down, and kind of feel like rightfully so. Sometimes you just kind of let a game play out. I know umpires are there to have everybody's best interests at hand, but Craig Counsell and the Brewers a tad bit upset about how it went down yesterday.
Players seem to be able to police the game themselves.
Yeah, you can tell when something's getting out of hand, and it certainly wasn't there yet yesterday.
One ball and 2 strikes. Yelich a single, blue base hit to left, grounded out to second and walked. Two and 2. Cubs and Pirates tied at 1-1. That's in the top of the 9th. We'll keep an eye on that score. Cardinals start playing just 4 back of Chicago in the Central.
The way the Cardinals have been playing here recently, that seems it looks at least incredibly attainable.
No doubt. Cardinals and Cubs are done with their season series until the final weekend of the regular season. Can you imagine if there's something on the line in those final 3 games for both teams?
It'll be incredible.
It was 3 at Wrigley, and after today, the series before that Chicago series at Wrigley, it'll be Milwaukee here. Cardinals are done going to Milwaukee this year. Runner goes. That's hit down the left field line, slicing foul. Ooh, not by much and out of play. Boy, that wasn't foul by much at all.
Oh, that thing hung on. Usually off the bat of a lefty, that's going to tail a bit more. It stayed very true. Missed by about 2 feet.
Three and 2 the count. Runner goes again, and it's a double play. Caught by Garcia. The top of his jump. The glove was there, and he picks up the double play.
This ball is hit on the screws, and Garcia does a great job getting up, getting it. Left over the middle. Athletic play, nice throw. And once again, a momentum shifter. Get things going again.
Boy, that's a good play.
It's a really good play.
And now there's 2 outs, nobody on. Lorenzo Cain at the plate. Grounded into a double play. Walked, stole a base back in the 3rd inning. Came around to score on a double hit by Moustakas. And also has an infield hit. Batting .358 here in the month of August and falls behind 0-2. Got him to reach for it. Back to Ross. Well, Greg Garcia, one of the top defensive plays of the day. Momentum shifter. We're about to find out. Now 57. Narchevi called to the bullpen.
Well, I hadn't seen him the first couple of games in this series, which is a good thing. It means they didn't have the lead, but he's having a fantastic year. You see all the numbers there. All-star this season. Has been very effective against both lefties and righties. And he's a bulldog out there. He's one of those guys, grips it, rips it, always looks like he's just grimacing out there. And when he's not pitching against your team, he's fun to watch.
Good point. Last pitched Wednesday. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. A 1.27 ERA. That's third lowest among all major league relievers. This is his third stint with Milwaukee. Spent some time with Texas. Brewers brought him back a couple of different times.
To me, that tells you a lot about a guy, how he is as a teammate, as a competitor. When you want to continue to bring him back, sometimes you have to cut ties. Sometimes there's just a deal that makes sense, or you just have to let him go. But if you keep bringing him back, there's something special about him.
19th shutout of the year. 45,334. 4.5334. And the 0-2. Puts it in play slowly towards short. Arcia makes the play. Boy, he's smooth. His shortstop for Milwaukee. Ball almost rolled up. You could see it getting to the heel of the glove, maybe the wrist.
It just catches the end of the bat. You know it's got plenty of spin on it. He does catch it right there in the heel. He's able to grip it and go. It's kind of a tough balance for the Brewers right now because they're trying to figure out, you know, offensively they made a couple of those trades because they wanted to get the big bats in there. Moustakas is going to be at third. You make the trade for Jonathan Scope, who struggled so far. You've got Shaw, who had been very good for you all year. But defensively, that's not your best alignment when they're out there. So you got to figure out ways to have that balance. But over at shortstop with Arcia there, they're pretty solid.
Bader has seen this right-hander. He's 1 for 4 with a home run. One ball and one strike. Last 8 outings. Can't do much better than that. 11 strikeouts, the 4 walks, a 0 ERA. The 1-1.
Well, Jeffers doesn't waste much time, does he? He comes right at you, whether it be the fastball, the curveball. He'll use the changeup here and there. Very aggressive.
A ball and 2 strikes. Harrison Bader, big gap in left center. Got him. So a strikeout for Jeffress. He's retired now the first 2.
Just a good curveball right here. Starts down middle, ends up under the zone. Coming out of the same arm slot as the fastball, coming right at you. Hard to lay off of.
Garcia on base twice today. He is singled and also hit by a pitch. Jose Martinez at the on-deck circle. Love to see him come up and have a chance to tie it.
A couple of really nice breaking balls right there from Jeffress. He showed you in the last at bat right there to Harrison Bader. He can bury that pitch. He can throw it under the strike zone, get the swing and miss. He can also throw it for a strike.
So with 2 outs, time is called. 0-2 the count. Chasen Shreve. Lefty getting loose in the Cardinal pen. And the 0-2 pitch. Home plate umpire missed that one too. Ramon De Jesus. And the 1-2 pitch to Greg Garcia. Fouled back. Jeffers is throwing hard, nearly triple digits, 98 still this late in the season for a guy that's been used a bunch.
Yeah, he looks really good. I just love the fact that he grabs the ball, gets back up there and throws it, pounds the strike zone. Even when he misses, his misses are close. Unless he's trying to set something up. He's got a great idea of what he's doing up here.
And the 1-2 pitch to Garcia. Spoiled.
There's that changeup right there. We've seen the fastball, like you said, nearing the triple digits. We've seen the breaking ball that he can throw for strike and for chase. Then goes changeup off the plate right there. It's a good arsenal. Usually when you have guys at the back end of the pen, they don't have 3 pitches that they can go to. There's usually the 2, and even though his fastball and his curveball are his best 2, he can go to that changeup when he wants it.
And a ball got out of the Cardinal dugout, so Yelich retrieved that. Should say the Cardinal bullpen.
Well, you never know.
Could happen either way.
It really could.
Guys messing around with that baseball in the dugout.
They're slippery at times.
Here's a 1-2. And again spoiled by Greg Garcia. Jeffers has got that kind of intimidating look to him. I mean, he gets the ball, gets right back on the mound and says, here we go.
That's what you want. That's what you want out of your guys. You see the glare in. Got the great stuff to back it up.
And the 1-2. Just off the plate again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And time call. This will be the 8th pitch coming up in the at bat. Low, 3-2.
Greg Garcia doing a really good job in this at bat, laying off some, fouling off a couple of pitches, making Jeffers work. Made short work of the first couple of guys this inning, making him throw some pitches here.
Garcia into right center. Ball hangs up, and Kane is there to make the catch. 8th inning when we come back. Moustakas at the plate that drove in 2, and that's the difference in this game. And here it is, back in the 3rd inning, John Gant.
An 0-2 changeup.
Yeah.
One that he want back in this ball game. Trying to go out off the plate away. Had already gotten him on a couple of them. That's how tight this ball game has been. One mistake is the difference.
And a ball high to Mike Moustakas. RBI double in the 3rd, grounded out to 1st, and also fly to center. 1 for 3. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tyson Ross has done a nice job. The bullpen today of the Cardinals, a nice job. Brett Cecil and now Tyson Ross.
It was really nice to see Brett Cecil get out of that jam. Ended up walking the bases loaded, get a little pop up in foul territory to get out of the inning. You're just looking for something, looking for a little momentum for him. We talked about the confidence that it could give you. Mike Schill puts him into a big time ball game. We know the struggles that he had before coming back off the DL. Had the scoreless 2 outings now.
You said something, and I've been watching Ross a little bit closer, how free and easy, big guy, and sometimes you see a lot of, I don't say wasted motion, but you just see a guy that's got everything into it. I mean, Ross is just pretty simple, and boom, it's on you.
He is, and you also don't want to say effortless, because a lot of times you think, oh, he's not putting anything into it. He just has a good idea of all of his moving parts, and I would have to think with as big of a guy as he is and as how lanky he can be, it's hard to do that.
It's his 2nd walk. Sunday, September 2nd, 12,000 kids 15 and younger entering with a ticket take home their very own Cardinals bear. And also the Biz Dash is coming up, and the Biz Dash is the biggest office party of the year. If you'd like to find out more, STLBizDash.com. It's brought to you by Fox Sports Midwest. Jesus Aguilar. Cardinals have turned 2 double plays today. We saw in game 1 Aguilar reach for that slider, roll over it, get the ground ball.
Well, that is Tyson Ross go-to. He's able to execute that thing away. Falls behind in this one. We throw that slider, get right back into it.
There it was, trying to get him to reach. 2 balls and no strikes. Aguilar fly to deep right. Terrific play by O'Neill. Took a hit away back in the 2nd, lined out in the 3rd, intentionally walked back in the 5th. $18 balls, 19 strikes for Ross. Good example of pitch framing there by Molina. Quiet behind the plate, able to sell that call. 2-1. Now Mike Myers up and throwing.
That's what it sounded like when I was warming up too, right?
That pop.
Yeah, that's what you heard up here.
You bet I did.
Good.
You betcha. 2-2.
It always sounded like somebody was catching me with a pillow.
You're too rough on yourself. It's a backswing here of Aguilar. May have caught Molina. Oh yeah. Guy is beat up day after day.
Some of the stuff that when you're watching the game you probably don't even notice. It looks like a normal foul ball.
This could be 2 out there. The double play. Got him to reach, which is what we talked about. Reach on the slider, roll over, and a ground ball. And there's the 3rd double play turned by the Cardinals.
Well, you got a 2-2 count right here. We talked about the slider being his bread and butter. He executes a good one, and on the outer half, Jerko gets it on a hop, makes a really nice turn. You know, Aguilar doesn't run too well. You got a little bit of time. Really nice pitch right there by Tyson Ross.
There's Travis Shaw, 1 for 3. Hader not up and throwing, and Shaw lifts it in the air to right. That's O'Neill. So we'll see another inning of Jeremy Jeffress. Cardinals will have a pinch hitter. Then the top of the lineup, 2-0 here in game 3. Jonathan Scope at second base now for Milwaukee. Jeffress still in the ball game, and Patrick Wisdom will be the batter. I'm sure some may say, well, why not Martinez? Wait till Martinez has a chance to tie it up.
Sure, we've seen him already this year. He's great with runners on. You get in an RBI position, he can drive the ball the other way. He can also leave the yard. And hopefully Patrick Wisdom can be a guy that can start setting the table for you here.
So Wisdom here, then the top of the lineup. We're in the home half of the eighth, 2-0 Milwaukee. This is only the third time that the Brewers will try to get 2 innings out of Jeffress this season. A lot of appearances, approaching 60. And a 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. You've been in that role. You were more of a multi-inning guy, but also a guy that would come in and get a ground ball double play. And not to say that pitchers will shut down, but it's foreign to them to go out of the routine and go multiple innings. Yeah,
it can be, and you have to stay mentally locked in. Now, I don't think that's something Jeffress has a problem with. It seems like as soon as he gets back out there, he's a bulldog. He's ready to go. But you can get out of an inning, especially if you're just used to that one where there's that release. As soon as you're walking off the mound, it's like, okay, I did my job, but you have to realize your job's not done yet.
It was a week ago that Wisdom made his major league debut and had a couple of hits, a key one against Kansas City that drove in 2 runs. 747 games in the minor leagues.
It is incredible. I was so happy for him. We got an opportunity over the last couple of years to know him during the Cardinals caravans and just see the guy that he is.
Lifts it into left center. First ever big league bomb. Patrick Wisdom. And the Cardinals get on the board. Patrick Wisdom. First ever major league homer.
Well, here it is right here. Hanging breaking ball by Jeffress. Doesn't happen often, and Patrick Wisdom puts a swing on it. He was not fooled by that thing at all. Wow.
And now it's Carpenter down by a run. And Carpenter lifts one out to left center. It's at the wall and caught. Gave it a ride. And we were almost tied. The Wisdom home run, the 100th of his professional career, by the way. 99 obviously in the minor leagues. First home run allowed by Jeffress since back in June. This crowd back in the game. Ball 1 to Yadier Molina.
You can already see the difference here in this second inning for Jeffress. That breaking ball that was so money in the first inning had that good late break. If he missed, he was missing away. He's had a couple already. The Wisdom home run, that first pitch to Yadi, where it backs up on him. That's dangerous.
A ball and a strike. Molina hitless today. Fly to center, fly to right, grounded out to short. And a grounder hit to third. Loved by Moustakas. There's 2 away. And now Tyler O'Neill. 0 for 3 today. And ball 1. That good slider. Got to think that O'Neill will get a bunch of those. The question will be, does he hang one? I like that sign right there.
Go ahead and put one out on those bleachers.
And the 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals 12 straight games with a home run. 4th Cardinals pinch hit homer this year. Patrick Wisdom has made it 2-1. Ooh. And it's 1-2.
Jeffrey's gone with the fastball the last couple of times. We've seen about 3 breaking balls in a row out of his hands that just haven't looked like they felt right. If he is right, the breaking ball would be a good pitch for him here. Hopefully he tries to go to it and leaves another one hanging.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to O'Neill. Hit out of play. So Jeffress, the last time he allowed a home run was June 23rd. Ironically enough, against the Cardinals, it was Yadier Molina. Hader begins to throw, the lefty in the pen for Milwaukee. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's been 2 pitches in a row where Kratz has wanted the breaking ball. Jeffress doesn't have a feel for it. Goes to the fastball, misses outside there. Looks like they're going with the changeup.
The 2-2. O'Neill breaks his bat, and it's a foul ball. Not by much. Well, that's a tough play for Moustakas. You've got a couple of pieces of the bat coming at you and the baseball.
That thing broke into about 5 different pieces. That changeup just had that hard biting action. Ends up coming in there right in on the hands. You're going to be finding that for a couple of weeks.
The 28th pitch to O'Neill today. 28 that he's seen. Can he do some damage? A count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got him. Patrick Wisdom, some excitement off the bench for St. Louis. First ever big league homer. Nearly 800 minor league games. What a moment. Patrick Wisdom, 2-1.
And his defense. athletic play right there. Part of a couple of double plays already. Seems like wherever you have Greg Garcia fill in, whether it be second base, short, third, they can pick it at any position for you and get some clutch hits as well.
Well, the bullpen has kept the Cardinals in this game. It's now 2-1. St. Louis, by the way, will have Ozuna, DeYoung, and Jerko coming up. It's Braun, Kratz, Arcia for Milwaukee. Hader, the tough lefty, getting loose in the pen for the Brewers, and Mike Myers, the new pitcher for St. Louis.
Mike Myers looked very good last night in his scoreless 7th inning. Punched out 2. Got Arcia and Jonathan Scope.
And it's 2-0. The last 5 games of the homestand, rookie pitchers have compiled a combined 1.12 ERA. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? 1.12. Celebrating 50 years of that this season. It's Flaherty there on the right, John Gant on the left, and Bob Gibson was at the Hall of Fame ceremony yesterday. And a nice chat with Jack Flaherty.
Tell you what, you get those two together, watch out.
It's a lot of pitching inside. That pitch taken just a bit high and a leadoff walk.
Jack Flaherty, everybody's talked about how much of a student of the game he is. We've seen it all on the mound. He's fantastic, but he just continues to try to get better and better, and soaking up some information, some knowledge from Bob Gibson. I can't think of a better teacher.
This is 5 times already now that Milwaukee has put their leadoff man on. The Cardinals have turned 3 double plays. Here's Eric Kratz. He's bunting, and it's up the first base line, and a fair ball. You know, Carpenter could let that go, but you're not sure if that continues to roll and it's fair. That's in shallow right.
Yeah, it was bunted so hard right there, and you think that it's going to tail that way, but if you are not positive, you can't let it go. You got to try to make a play on it. He looked to second, had no chance right there, ends up getting a sure out. But Kratz, I mean, he barrels this thing up, bunts it hard. It is likely to go foul, but you just don't know.
I think it's easy for us to say, well, it looks like it's going to roll foul from that angle, but
it's different when you're on the field.
Yeah. So Arcia with a runner at second base and Ryan Braun. Hernan Perez at the on deck circle. 0-1 pitch by Myers. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the 1-1. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Get out of play.
Nice breaking ball right there to get back into this count. Even it up 2-2. We know that he's got the high octane fastball. But if you're able to throw an off speed pitch to get you back into it, just puts a lot more things in the back of the hitter's head.
So Myers earlier in the at bat and a stare down Arcia on a pitch that was up, and those two looking at each other. It's been fired up. Check on the runner now at second base, Ryan Braun. 2-2 the count. I don't know, maybe a little something extra in this plate appearance.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
it's a little cat and mouse. You get the big swing and the finish. You get the fastball up and in. That's the beauty of this. We're going to find out who wins.
And he struck him out. Myers just kind of staring at him.
That's all right. I like that. Gets him with the breaking ball. They're jawing right now. Keep going at it. Nice breaking ball right there. Catches him up in the zone. Looking for the heater. Nothing wrong with a little mean streak.
Hernan Perez, the pinch hitter, came in right field after the collision in game 1 with Thames and Kane. Versatile player, can play all over the diamond. As we've talked about, Hader continues to throw and get loose in the pen for Milwaukee. So 2 outs, runner at second base. And strike 1. Cardinals have again Ozuna, DeYoung, and Jerko coming up. There's a look at the all-star Hader. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Hernan Perez. Strike 2. How about that? 98 from Mike Myers, and it's been consistently that way all year.
It has. We saw it in spring training. I know you've talked about it quite a bit. He was the most impressive arm out there, maybe until the last day when Jordan Hicks just lit it up against the Nationals and ended up making this ball club. But you know that's in there, and it's not just the fastball. It's the breaking ball we've seen here today as well.
And the 1-2 fouled back. You know, Mike Schilt too has not been shy about going to Myers, using him a bunch. High leverage situations. Sometimes in the middle of an inning in a matchup that could be tough.
Well,
the
Mike
point being, he likes him.
Yeah, Mike Schilt will tell you, he'll be the first one to tell you he's earned it.
Yeah.
He's earned these spots. It's not like he's just throwing guys in there for no reason.
He picks up a strikeout and is scoreless. Top of the 9th. Here the Cardinals come back. 1-run deficit. Big bats coming up. Well, it's been 8 days since Josh Hader last pitched, so you know he's well rested. However, for creatures that have it, that's a long time, and you got to wonder about, will he be wild? What's the effectiveness going to be like?
Yeah, you might there might be a little feeling out process. Well, when you're in a close ball game like this, when you've got just a small lead, there's no time for feeling out. You got to execute early and often, and the Cardinals got to hope that he just leaves something up. That's all it takes at this point.
The BJC Healthcare difference maker, the walk-off wins the Cardinals have had, 10, most in all of baseball. Can they make it 11? Strike one on Marcell Ozuna. Yelich in left. Broxton takes over in right. 0-1 pitch. Nothing in 2. .104 strikeouts for this lefty. Leads all of the relief corps in Major League Baseball. And the 0-2. Strikeout of Ozuna. What's interesting is that as the season has gone on, and here in the second half, his strikeout rate has dropped considerably. Prior to the All-Star break, 68%, and now it's 44.
Still pretty good.
Oh boy,
still pretty good. That's an obscene amount of strikeouts on the year for Hader. He does hide the ball really well, and maybe when you see him a couple of times, you're able to foul some stuff off, put a little something in play. But he has been very, very good.
And strike one on Paul DeYoung. A fastball and a very good slider.
A lot like we were talking about Jeffress. He comes right at you. There's no toying. He's not trying to work the corners. He's going to come right at you and then go to work after that.
The 0-1 pitch to the Cardinals shortstop DeYoung. Nothing in 2. 0 for 3 today with a pair of strikeouts. Well, we wondered about being effective throwing strikes. No problem. 5 pitches, 5 strikes.
Yeah, apparently was able to work the cobwebs out in the bullpen beforehand. All it takes is that one mistake, though.
When he gets 2 strikes on the hitter, it's all but over. Opponent's average is .036.
Well, something had to happen. They haven't averaged at all. You know, so that .036, there was something good. You know what I'm saying? That something good could happen here.
Very good fastball hitter on deck in Jed Jerko. Let's see what DeYoung can do. The 0-2 pitch again. Struck him out.
Well, in this at bat, you saw 97. Then you see a slider that starts off the plate away and gets him swinging right there after seeing 97. That slider that he hides pretty well, even though that wasn't his best one. I mean, that's filthy.
Cardinals down by a run. And ball 1 to Jed Jerko. Cardinals have been out hit 6-5 in the ball game. The 1-0 pitch. And Jerko sends it into right. Back goes Broxton, and up against the wall makes the catch as Jed gave it a ride. Oh, so close. And the Brewers salvage a game in the series.
Wow. Whoa, man, you thought that one was going to be out of here. Hard fought ball game, hard to get anything going offensively. Patrick Wisdom with the big home run, but another successful series for the Cardinals. They've won 7 series in a row and head out on the road.
Post-game show coming up next. 2-1 the final as the Brewers hold on here at Busch.